dragonfly friends. You are, of course, the air element, but also, since you are the dragonfly, there is a strong element of water in there as well. So, the dragonfly comes from under the water and then emerges out of the water when it grows its wings. That's its final form. So, dragonfly, master of light, illusion, and the mind. The dragonfly is an ancient and ethereal creature that awakens a sense of wonder in all. The dragonfly is a symbol of the mind, as it is always moving, shifting, shimmering, and changing. When the dragonfly appears, it's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. Are they restless or still, dreamlike or crystal clear? The situation at hand may be different than it appears at first glance. The dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind, so the light of wisdom can shine through. When in balance, sees clearly, joyful, magical. When out of balance, can't concentrate, busy mind. To bring into balance, focus on the breath. In other words, meditation. All right. So that seems to be where you are at. The dragonfly is frequently seen as a sign of transformation as well. Also some delicacy, of course. All right, let's look at your tea leaf cards, which are here to help you determine whether or not this is your reading. We have dog far away, a distant friend is thinking of you, and grasshopper, a situation in the balance that requires careful handling. We also have flute, disappointment in a friend or lover, and dog close up, pleasure with a close friend. So perhaps these are two different people that are friends of yours. What's really interesting is this disappointment in the friend or lover. Perhaps there's been some desire to change the nature of your relationship, your connection, on the part of one or both of you. I'm not sure whether we're talking about two different friends or just one friend, but you would probably know. Then we have shark, take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. And then we have butterfly, a change for the better. Again, another reference to transformation. All right. Now, your first card out from the tarot, we are asking, what is on your mind? Why are you here? Why are you looking for a reading, a tarot reading? And we have the Four of Swords in the uncertainty position. The Four of Swords in the upright represents someone who is recovering, recuperating, resting, and most importantly, integrating. So in the uncertainty position, well, that's the upright. In the reverse, we're talking about probably the need to get going, to get moving, perhaps a reluctance to get moving. But it is time, the rest time is over. But with this uncertainty position, perhaps it's not clear whether you should still be resting and integrating or whether it's time to get moving. The next card out is the Moon. This, of course, is about secrets, the hidden, the shadows. The shadows are secrets we keep from ourselves. They are part of us, and we hide them from ourselves. So that's why the Moon is associated with shadow work. It can also be about other kinds of secrets kept by other people. And finally, it can be a reference to psychic abilities. Next, we have the Hierophant. So, I frequently see the Hierophant. I have difficulties with organized religion. So I see it as a status quo. Being dogmatic. Okay, so being stuck in your beliefs, being rigid, unwilling to change. But we have this Hierophant in the uncertainty position. Unfortunately, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse on top of that. The King of Pentacles in reverse is someone who is not generous. This is someone who has a lot, but is probably quite fearful, is afraid of loss, or simply kind of very concerned with getting theirs, if you know what I mean. Getting their share. Not a generous person at all. Very materialistic. Very, very stubborn. A very rigid mindset. They would be very dogmatic. So this may be someone, this can be also a mentor. In the uncertainty position, you may be uncertain of this person as a mentor, especially if it's this King of Pentacles, which I kind of think it is. So you may be beginning to see clearly about who this person really is, what kind of person they really are. And then we have the Five of Wands in reverse. You may be having some real clashes with this person. Personality clashes, differences of opinion. And now we have lies, deceit, and betrayal. And perhaps you are the Page of Pentacles. So while you admire the position that this person has achieved in life, it's because you are just starting out and you realize you have a lot to learn. By the way, there's a grasshopper here. I don't know why that mattered. Anyway, it has not, this does not seem like a connection that's working out well right now. Although you may feel that you need to be careful with how you deal with it. All right, next. Undoubtedly, this has been quite painful to have this person that you at least once upon a time admired and looked up to a great deal. But it looks like this process of seeing them clearly, of becoming more truly yourself, of this probably a transformation. It is shaping you, strengthening you. See, that's what the anvil does. You take the heated metal and you hammer it. And as you hammer it and fold it, it becomes stronger and more flexible. So as unpleasant as the process of being shaped on the anvil is, the result is positive. And I do think you are going through a radical break from the past. You are experiencing deep changes, a makeover, perhaps a separation. Let's see, forced to change, opportunity. You could see it as opportunity. And then, of course, we have the bellows. There was a catalyst, a spark, something that really caused all of this to happen. And now we have the broom, the removing unwanted stuff, the purging, a clean sweep, total makeover, which is what happens after you go through a transformation. And megaphone. So you are willing to be seen and heard as your transformed self, which means you're at a fairly late stage in the transformation process. When people go through their first awakening, especially their first transformation, they spend quite a while keeping it hidden because they are in that Four of Swords energy. They are still integrating and coming to terms with the changes that are going on within themselves, and they're not ready to share it or to be seen or heard because they aren't fully formed yet, like the butterfly or the dragonfly that has just come out of their last juvenile stage. You have the crumpled wings. They're there. You've got the wings. Don't know what to do with them yet. They're not strong enough yet. They aren't completely unfolded yet. You're not ready to fly. So you keep it hidden. But you have the megaphone. You are ready to go public, be heard, to shine, to be in the spotlight, to have a wider audience, to speak up, to be visible. And it is a big deal. All of this was under the control of the divine. Fate, karma, cycles, forces of the universe. And you may very much feel like it was all out of your hands. And now you are on the long and winding road of self-discovery, development, becoming. You will need to be flexible, patient. You will need to travel at a leisurely pace, treat it as an adventure. And I think this is you, honestly, but it could be the person on your mind. And finally, your last row, we have Stallion, breaking free of your old way of living, old way of being. But you're still learning. You're not done yet. You need to look into things more deeply. There's a lot of information out there that you can get from people who have already done this work. But you need to understand which of these things apply to you and which don't. And you will know that by how it feels to you. So you do have to be in touch with your inner guide, your inner compass. You have to listen to what your body tells you. Do the research, examine the fine print. And finally, we have Grasshopper, the leap of faith. Perhaps you are ready to once again take another leap. The Fool's Leap. A sudden change in direction. It says, don't worry. What it really means is that the fool is willing to take the leap, even though they can't see their next step. So that's why it's called the leap of faith. Faith is required to be brave enough to do this thing. It looks like you have been on your healing journey for a while. It has progressed. I can't say that it's going well or going badly because it's just progressed the way it's supposed to. There's nothing here to suggest it's going badly. It's just perhaps a bit unnerving. It's a different way of being for you, I'm sure. And that may be a big adjustment. Now then, I did pull 2 cards from the Divine Abundance deck. They're pretty interesting, honestly. You got companionship and clearing. So we already talked about clearing with the broom, clearing away the old so that the new can be here. But the most interesting thing is that both of these cards have elephants on them. So under companionship, we have 2 elephants. Giving someone your complete presence is an astonishing gift. That means you have to put down the phone and really pay attention, really be there, be present with someone. And then we have clearing. So this is showing Ganesh, the elephant god from Hinduism. Ganesh is also known as the remover of obstacles. So as true offering arises, it becomes easy to let go. You start to trust that more will always arrive. You shift from mine, mine, mine to God's, God's, God's. Such freedom. And this is going to be a very big change for you, coming from probably the background of that King of Pentacles in reverse. I'm not clear on whether that was a parent, but it was definitely someone important to you, someone you looked up to. And now you're developing a completely different viewpoint on life. Life, the universe, and everything. So, I know that was something of a quick one, mostly because I pre-shuffled everything. And I think I covered just as much as I would have otherwise. I am wishing you all the best with your next leap of faith, your sudden change in direction. Enjoy the journey. Till next time.